the stream a little bit earlier. We still have a couple of minutes to go till 3. But I hope that those of you who decided to join us, they're already here. But I'm going to give you a few more times to get together. 2 4 minutes to get together before we start talking about the events that took place today during Messi's stream and the updates about Gerda. And what else? First of all, I want you to let me know how well you can hear me. Today I am using my microphone because, well, my voice again is out of commission. And at work, I was given microphones, real microphone, to talk during the classes. And on Monday, tomorrow, I will be using a microphone to be in the classroom. So my voice condition continues. It's on and off. It's not improving. On Monday, I will be seeing a doctor again, the otolaryngologist, to see what's going on with my voice. Well, technically, I do know what's going on with it. It's my vocal cords. They don't operate properly, and they are not producing the sound as it's supposed to be. They don't resonate well. So our vocal cords, they making the something like that when they're going up. They open up, they close in to produce sound, open up and close in to produce sound. And one of my cords just doesn't close completely, and we don't know what causes that, and that is very hard to pick up, to pinpoint as the as the condition. What is the cause of that? Okay, happy Sunday. And yes, Sherry, yes, of course. You see, I started talking about my condition and everything, but today is the green day, is the happy leprechaun day, and I hope that you are all guys are celebrating and you having corned beef. Actually, last year I cooked a wonderful corned beef, and ladies of my neighborhood, we got together in one of our places and we had a wonderful meal for the St. Patrick's Day. So those of you who celebrate St. Patty, and I'm not wearing green, shame on me, but if I think if we go over here, we can find something green. And you see, I found, see, I told you, I promised you that Don Pepas is going to host the show. Guess what? He actually retired upstairs. He decided to be there. I don't know, he was doing something and then he got tired and he is upstairs sleeping on bed. So I decided that my bedroom is not looking as nice as you might think. And so I am wearing this t-shirt where Don Pepas. So Don Pepas is actually hosting the show, and and um, and of course this t-shirt is available for purchase. You can buy it, and I hooked them in I tagged the products. If you want to purchase this t-shirt, it's available for sale at the Don Pepas store. And let me see who we have here. So Sherry, happy St. Patrick's Day. Milashka, gosh, you are awake. You need to go to bed. I know. Milashka asked me if I would be considering to move my stream up a little bit in time, because where she lives in Iraq, it's apparently way too late, and but she is staying up and she is trying to say that she is sick and she really doesn't feel good. She cannot breathe, and she tried to share that in Puma Messi stream, and people didn't support her, and they were writing her weird things. So Milashka, I really don't know what you're referring to, because I'm so busy during Puma Messi streams and I'm translating. I'm literally very seldom look at the chat because the chat moves so fast, and I am actually typing pretty fast, that making sure that I am keeping up with Sasha, what he is talking about. And I am sorry, but really, you need to seek assistance at the place where you live. There is no way that either Sasha, Masha, or myself are going to be able to help you. So yes, I feel sorry for you that you don't feel good. And then you wrote also that one of the cats didn't feel good. And you need to find a help, real help, locally, where people can help you, your parents also, and adults. Please go and seek help, because it's very important, because if you're really sick, it could endanger your life. Please just go back to sleep and make sure that in the morning you will uh, get attention of the grown-ups who are around you. And well, I am not going to continue more about this conversation, because again, the cat was sick, and definitely no one could advise anything for you, especially you described the condition that the cat is really very sick and probably he is dying, and there is nothing that could be done in the conditions like that. And yes, it's easier to take the cat out of misery if you're not going to provide any help. And that's what the people were saying. And I'm sorry, it's that you yourself are sick, and then your cat is sick, and that you have to deal with all the conditions. Again, it's way too many things to juggle for you alone. And that's why, please, please, please find someone who is able to support you and help you. That would be so good. And now let me continue saying hello. Eric, hello, and how are you doing? Yeah, yes, I'm going to talk about Maslenitsa, Shrovetide, so called. If the direct translation is the last day of the Butter Week, and we will talk about it. And again, there is a video where I am making pancakes 2 years ago on this channel, and also on my Cooking Together channel. We'll talk about that a little bit. And December Jam, hello, hello, hello. And Mary Jo, hello. And Milashka, I understand. So please stop posting anything, because otherwise I don't know, I'm probably going to restrict your postings, because you're talking to me only. The rest of the people, they don't speak Russian. And no matter how many messages you post, there is no way I can help you. Even I understand that you live in the country where help is not immediately available, but none of us going to be able to provide you help in timely manner. So thank you for making us aware about your problems. But I said the best way to deal with that, to find local help that is going to be there, and they will be able to help you. So, and Mr. Patchworth, hello, Monica Mendes, hola, ¿cómo está? I'm so happy to see you. Estoy muy alegre de ver a todos ustedes. Y yeah, again, Don Pepas decided to be somewhere upstairs. I'm wearing this t-shirt because I told you that Don Pepas is going to host the show, and I'm hosting the show, and that's why you see this t-shirt. And besides, the weather outside is lovely. It's about 76 today, and it's so comfortable because it's wind, cool wind, and it's not too hot, not too cold. It's so wonderful. It's one of those blessed weekends. Nothing better you can wish for St. Patrick's Day. Again, those who celebrate St. Patrick's, I hope you all had your corned beef. And it's an interesting dish, and I love it. I love cabbage, I love beef, and how it's being made. And Who else do we have here? Jenny G, hello, and we are having 17 people watching us. I know that Linda said that she is not going to check in the chat, and I understand. She also mentioned that people quite people are quite tired of communicating on social media, especially this morning, Masha and Sasha's stream, and now here, and that's why I was asking you, is it going to be too much, two streams, and maybe stream in between? And people are doing all this communication via social media. Maybe it's way overwhelming. I think it's getting to me. So I really would like to claim my weekends and have those weekends for myself, and without thinking about it. I need to get up early on Sunday morning to do translation, and then I'm thinking all kind of thoughts that maybe I will take some time off away from the social media. Anyway, Milashka, no, I am not upset with you. No, I am not upset with you. But again, in this chat, people do not read Russian, and probably if you write me off topic of this thing, you can find my email address under the video descriptions. In that case, I probably will communicate more directly with you, and maybe we can find a solution to your tough situation. So anyway, I also would like to say hello to Valeria. She is probably watching me. Valeria, hello. Linda, you're watching, and Karen Reed. She said that she had to attend her church, but she will be watching a reply. So we are going to have, we now 15 people. People come and go, and now let's talk about Gerda first. Then we'll talk about Messi, then the stuff that was going on over there at Sasha and Masha, and then we'll talk about Maslenitsa. Maslenitsa is Shrovitite, that's Maslenitsa, it's Butterweek, literally Butterweek. And so let's, those things in order that I just announced. Gerda, well, first of all, thank you so much for everyone who cared about Gerda, who supported monetarily or with your messages, with your prayers, with everything. As Masha and Sasha, they were posting videos, they posted the video, the doctors came, and what today was said during the stream, that again, she was thoroughly examined. She was x-rayed and ultrasounded from tip of her nose to the end of her tail. Her organs look okay according to her age. The organs did show some aging comparing to the previous ultrasound exam, but she really nothing dramatic, nothing like no pathology, nothing that could be seen and shown on those images. So the cat, as Sasha says, the cat is in order, in good order. However, they found some changes in her uterus, and that normally happens when the female cheetah is of that age, and she is around 10, 11 years old, and she hasn't been mother, she hadn't had a litter of calves or two or three or whatever, without producing offspring. The uterus kind of produces too much of hormones that they don't have any use, and it's kind of takes its charge on the organ, and then it might turn into inflammation, and then it would lead to larger problems. There is no problem yet. However, it's the beginning of that stage or that age of the cat where the hysterectomy is ordered, prescribed, and hysterectomy will be done sometime at the end of summer or the beginning of autumn, everything in accordance with the schedule of the Wild Nature Hospital. Well, people were asking, why not now? The doctors were there. Why you didn't do this surgery? Well, because the doctors were not there. Sergei Olegovich, he was the only doctor and his supported staff. No surgeon was there, no operating room was on location, because if they needed to perform a surgery, a different team is dispatched from the wild nature hospital, and the different setup is being done. And that's why, again, please keep in mind that Wild Nature Hospital is the only type of establishment in the Russian Federation, in a huge, huge country, where they go and attend to the needs of wild animals, exotic animals. I told you maybe half a year ago, when this hospital, they had to fly all the way to close to the North Pole to save a polar bear, because the polar bear got close to one of the places where the station, the scientific station, was located. And somehow the can, the after the meat preserved conserves was eaten, and so the people just discard the, in the can, and they toss the can out. And that bear, he ate that preserve can, and he swallowed it, and of course he was dying. And the scientists at that station, they've noticed that the animal wasn't doing well. They communicated, they connected with they got hold of the hospital, and the hospital team was dispatched to the Northern Pole and taken care of that polar bear. They shot him from I believe, I don't remember. I'm not going to invent the story, either from a helicopter or from some place safe, because it's a wild polar bear. And then they got to him. They got that can that got stuck in his mouth. And as Yana was saying, no, they didn't wait for him to wake up, and they just helped him, and they moved away as fast as they could, because that polar bear wouldn't be happy when he would be awake. And that's why the polar bear was brought back to health. And the hospital of Wild Nature got one more good deed under their belt. And of course, they also working with Yana and Dima Kim in St. Petersburg with their hospice, the Tiger House. They are very busy, they're in high demand. And yes, granted that Sasha and the Tiger House, Messi and the Tiger House, they actually brought them more visibility as the establishment, as the specialist in such an interesting field of veterinary. And that's why. So the schedule is very heavily booked, and that was the place where they could squeeze Gerda in, because you know that this time they had to, Sasha and Masha, they found a driver with a car, that the driver was able to go from Penza to Moscow, which is about 450 miles one way, pick the doctor up with his team, bring him back to Penza with all the equipment, to do all the procedures right on the spot over there, and then drive them back, and then come back to Penza. That's how it was done. And when the guys were faced with this problem, what to do with this, and they heard the numbers, the financials that would be involved into such a procedure, into such an operation, transportation, then the charge for the hospital bills, etc., etc., etc. They realized that it's an extra expense that they didn't count on, and they asked the subscribers and people who cared enough about Gerda and Messi to give donations. And you know what? You are so nice, and their subscribers are so nice. So they got that money very, very fast, and they were able to pay to the doctor, to the driver, to everybody else involved, and they got with some money left. And what did they do with that money? No, they didn't leave it to themselves. They called Dima and Yana saying, here, it's your hospice, you have so many cats, so we are going to donate this to you because you have so many cats and you have so many projects. Here are the donations from our people, from our viewers to your viewers. And when Yana and Dima came at the Tiger House stream, they were saying that they said, you know, we're going to say it only once, that everyone who is trying to accuse Sasha and Masha in different things, that they just rake in money and do nothing else. No one should even think about saying those things, because Sasha and Masha would never tell themselves what they did with the extra money, with the leftover money. And that's why they said, we are going to say this to you, our subscribers. Please don't clip this out of our stream and don't send it to Sasha and Masha. They're going to get upset. So this is kind of our secret that I'm letting you know that what happened. And yes, that was very, very nice. Let me see what you're saying. And okay, I have Fox Tunes, I have Gabriel Menendez. Hello, saludos, saludos. Hola, ¿cómo están todo el mundo? Muchos saludos y besitos a todos. So that was the story. And for 4 days, Sasha and Masha kept Gerda kind of in her enclosure without letting Messi go by, because you know that when you have an unidentified disease and you don't know, it may be something contagious, and that's why Messi wasn't there. And I think the video from Saturday when they posted, when they came to feed Gerda, and Gerda was well enough to have appetite and eat with happiness and with pleasure. Messi was waiting for them outside of the enclosure. And Sasha today admitted that they behaved as if they missed each other. Because I also got some questions under the messages that I've been posting. By the way, all those message board, community boards, so active. Thank you so much. I also want to thank you, every single one of you, my subscribers who were doing this. Your support is invaluable, because so many messages. So, and someone was asking, hey, do you think if Messi would come over to Gerda, do you think it would help her? And I was saying, you know, I don't think it's such a good idea. And yes, and Sasha said that, yes, they kept them apart. And but the moment when Gerda started feeling better, Messi was allowed, and they exhibited the senses that they missed each other and they were happy to see each other. Too bad we really cannot hear what they're saying and what they're thinking, because it would be so much fun. I'm telling you, we always had cats, and some cats were so fast coming through our family. Something dramatic happened to them, and some of them lived for a long time. But back then, in where I was growing up, the cats were not like that. I mean, my Don Pepas, he's an indoor cat, and I'm pampering him as the baby. Those cats where I went when I was growing up, they were in and out cats. They stayed outside, and they had all the accidents. One cat was hit by a car. I remember I was crying, and my mom was saying, "Gosh, Lillian, I hope that you would cry over me one day like that." And so anyway, where was I? Gosh, every time I'm going somewhere with on my memory train, that it takes me somewhere that I can't finish my thought. Well, I hope that it would come back to me. I don't know. I don't know what I was saying. I don't know. And Randy G, hello, hello. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, this is my short, Don Pepper's short t-shirt. It's available at Don Pepper's store. The link is under the description. And you're more than welcome to purchase that shirt. I would appreciate that. So, Don Pepas is 13 years old, and actually 13 and a half already, since I had my birthday as well. So he's 13 and a half. And but he is very useful looking cat, and I don't want to go there. So Messi feels okay. Messi was very communicative today. Sasha and Masha were talking about pancakes, and now that brings us to the story of Shrivetide or Butterweek or Maslenitsa. Again, I would encourage you, I'll post the link under the description of this stream when the stream is going to be as the video, to go in and watch um, the video about pancakes. So, Butterweek. Russia has Orthodox Christianity, and Orthodoxy is all about 52 weeks and about around the year. And we know that those calendars in the church, they are not tied to any calendar events, the astrological events, but they rather tied to the Christianity events, and the New Year being the Easter, the resurrection, and then you count in the weeks. Each week has something different, and Orthodox calendar and Catholic calendar, they don't coincide, but the notion is somewhat the same, though they went apart somewhere. I don't remember, I'm not going to lie to you, in the 2nd century or in the 3rd century, and they had the Orthodoxy and Catholicism, they had 3 major disagreements on Immaculate Conception and the representation of the God's power here on earth with the Pope and the Patriarch, and the reverence toward the Mother of God. And of course, it's much wider in that regard, but the calendars are different. And the difference goes all the way, starting with Easter. Russian Orthodox ties to the lunar calendar and the other events. And that's why the Orthodox Easter this year is going to be the 5th of May. The 5th of May is rather late Easter, because Easter could be either early, could be kind of timely, and could be late. The early one, when it falls at the end of March till the 2nd week of April, then sometime the end of April is okay, the mid-April. And if it goes in May, that is a late Easter. So, what goes before Easter, before resurrection? You really have to be deep in prayers and thoughts and contemplation. And only great Lent can bring you to that state. So we all know that Jesus Christ went to desert and he was fasting for 40 days, drinking only water. And Russian Orthodox Christianity, they prescribe the strict vegan feast, with the first week is kind of even stricter, that you cannot eat, cook, use any oil or anything. And of course, it's not only dietary uh, limitations, so to speak. It's pretty much that goes from your head, and lots of prayers and everything. But before you go into that strict self-regulation and dedication and devotion yourself to Jesus Christ, to God, and to the religion, you kind of need to store a little bit of fat that would last, keep you through that. Actually, 40 days, it's 7 weeks of Lent, 7 weeks of Lent, and 7 by 7, 49. It's actually 49 days. I mean, what am I? 40 by 7, yeah, 49 days. So it's 7-week Lent. And I used to do the Lent and everything, and I don't do it a couple of years in a row, maybe 3 years in a row, but I used to adhere to it very strictly. And that's why the butter week, the whole week starting last Monday, you were allowed to eat as many pancakes as possible. So meat already is out of the question, and you go and you do these pancakes. So the pancakes, what is the story with pancakes? Because if you go to deep orthodoxy, people would say, wow, orthodoxy, it's a clergy, it's a religion, it's everything. all of a sudden they have this Trinity and God, and they accept paganism, because pagan, what is it? The pancake is the symbol of sun. How did they marry this paganism and Christianity in the same week? Well, it's a really good question, and it's a little bit more into that if we go to the if we're going to look through the prism of paganism and pancakes. So, yeah, I think it's really the church thought that it would be not possible to go through this strict Lent without that fatten up a little bit, and that's why kind of they decided to keep this holiday. And besides, every day of the Maslenitsa signifies something, also kind of culture and traditions being mixed. And this, because the people, the simple people, the peasants, they had hard time accepting strict Christianity when it was brought to Russia in the 10th century. And yes, so kind of the convergence or the coexistence of smooth entering of two traditions and meeting each other was okay with the Orthodox Church. So now people who even don't obey Orthodoxy and who are not Russian Orthodox, or who just atheists or agnostics or anybody else or whatever, it's just pancake feast for the entire week. Pancake feast, and people eat pancakes. And in our classroom, we had one day on Wednesday, we celebrated, we kind of showed the sneak preview of how the um, pancake weeks are being celebrated. And it's always been in our house. We had that tradition. Grandma always was making pancakes, and that's how you learn how to make pancakes. Grandma, your mom, and then I was making pancakes around this holiday. I hope that I told you everything that I knew about things. There is one more thing. I think while I am making pancakes in that video, I also talking about that there is the permanent contest between the Russians and the French. Who does that pancake belong to? Because in France they have crepe, and in Russia they have pancake, and Russians say, no, we are the first because we are going all the way to pre-Christianity and we had those pancakes all the time. So French, of course, don't believe that, and the battle continues. Pancake, whose is this? Is it French or is it Russian? The same battle goes around borscht. Ukrainians saying that borscht is Ukrainian, Russians saying, hey, the borscht is Russian, and Belarusians saying, no, the borscht is ours, and Belarusian, and then the all Eastern Europe saying, the Polish saying, no, we also have borscht, and then and who knows? So the mixture of cuisines and tastes being intertwined, mixed from around the world, and it's so wonderful. Jay is here, wow, and he gives me money. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. That means a lot to me. Yeah, and now I have Karen here, and Gabriel Mendes, and Sherry, and who else we have here? Okay, that's what I told you about everything. So Sasha and Masha. Okay, so any questions so far while I'm going to take breath between the topics? Yeah, I didn't make pancakes this year. I don't know why. I just didn't. And now it's so nice. We have Russian store in town. You can go and buy pancakes. They're frozen, and you can then warm them up and eat. And they quite delicious. I must admit that those pancakes that being sold at our Russian store, they nice and they thin also. And okay. Okay, Jay is working in his garage and he's doing something to his daughter's car. And since I don't understand in cars, I trust you, Jay. Whatever you say, that strut is what is. It's a thing with the car. Oh, update about my car. Yeah, finally the parts for my bumper arrived, and I left my car at the body shop last Monday, and I've been driving a rental car. It's been a week already, and I think I'm stuck in for another week to drive rental car. And I'm driving Hyundai Santa Fe, and it's an interesting experience because it's more modern car. So my car is about what, it's 5 years old already. I do have, of course, the rear view camera and something else, but this, yeah, new ar is stuffed with cameras. It has the um, head, I mean the overview camera, when it's like you're looking at yourself from above when you're backing up. I've never seen that. And then it has the board cameras, so when you're making right turn or left turn, it also shows to you. And even if if you have a car, you're changing lanes, for example, and you're turning on the blinker, the sensor is saying, hey, you have a car in your vicinity, you better don't do that. So it's interesting, though the car is whoopsie a little bit. It's not as stable and sturdy on the road as my Cadillac XT5, but it's an interesting. So the progress is going so well. Jay, what do you think about all those cameras on the modern cars? Okay. Um, December Gem Gail, she's saying maybe you could take us on a trip to fresh markets on your cooking channel sometime this year. Actually, yesterday when after all this winter, I decided to go to my community farmers market. And I normally go early enough, like the market opens at 8:30, and I'm right there at 9 o'clock, and it's not that crowded. But yesterday, I don't know, it took me some time, and only at 11:30 I made it there. And since this weekend is so gorgeous, so nice, it was filled with people. And there was something, Mexican fair was going on. The girls wearing beautiful Mexican dresses. They were performing those skirts that the Mexican girls are wearing. They were dancing that, and then some other people. It was so interesting, and I was like, maybe I should make a video about that one. And yeah, that thought crossed my mind, but I don't know. Then I decided not to, and I went to the ocean instead, because I also did my run by the ocean, my barefoot run by the ocean. And yeah, Karen, yeah, driving rental, it's a kind of interesting experience. Well, fun with cars. Well, you are so smart, you know what Lada is. Ladas are not that bad now. It's I was thinking that if I go to Russia, probably I wouldn't think about Lada, though. Lada Kalina, Lada, other cars, Russian-made cars. They're really, well, of course, it's 21st century. It's about time to make those, and to make those nice. And they were nice when at that time, when the Soviet Union was there, they were like Fiats. It was built by Fiat, that the store, that plant that built Ladas. uh, the Italians built that factory, and that's how they were able to scale it up. The production was huge, and then Russia also had another cars. They had Moskvich, and they had UAZ, and UAZ is the one that I was considered to purchase if I were to move to Russia eventually. That I would buy the UAZ Jeep Patriot. They call it Patriot, was Patriot, and it's quite a nice car. I don't know. I think with those sanctions, the car production kind of got interrupted, but then the big friend from the East, China, jumped in And Russia is now buying lots of Chinese cars, and Japanese parts started making its way to the production of the Russian cars. So localization with the view to the east of the world. And uh, my lease is off on July 2. I'm planning to buy it. Yeah, Karen, that's what I did. When my lease expired on my Cadillac, I bought it, and I really like my car, and that's what I do about it. And I wanted to say something else about talk about something else. Um, I don't know. What came to my mind, you probably have noticed that there is no new content, and I keep telling you that no new content about on my channel, like content when I sit down and I do the lessons. Well, first of all, my throat again, I don't know, it's the moment I think about the idea that I'm going to do a lesson, then I sit down and then my throat, because I cannot project my voice, period. So that's one obstacle. Then the second one, I start thinking about, oh, I need to do thumbnail and I need to edit the video. And really, I have to admit something to you. Editing videos, I grew to hate editing videos. And that's probably is another reason for me that I stopped producing content. It's like, why should I do things that, first of all, don't yield me anything? And I've been doing and doing and doing that, and now maybe I should just take creative recharge break and do just the streams, or maybe to, I don't know, stay away from social media, from YouTube. I don't have any other social media rather than YouTube, and maybe stay away, not to think about Messi every moment, not to think about Gerda, just curl with Don Pepas on the couch every every moment, and have and claim my weekends to myself. And maybe maybe some other creative thought would strike me, and I would emerge even more creative than before. Speaking of creativity, um, I so few of you bought my book. Thank you so much, and it made me to rethink my creative writing. Maybe I need to go back to writing. And Lori Wooten, who is also my subscriber, and she's been she is very active in comments, in the comments. um, she started making kind of some propositions about my character, saying, oh, it would be nice if you do this line or do whatever, you just you insert your character in that circumstances, and you know how you always, when who if you love the characters, you keep thinking your scenarios for those characters. And of course, I'm thinking about, those are my characters, and I'm going to make them do whatever they want to do. Actually, it's an interesting process. I caught myself on the thought that I was writing one episode in that A Grave to Visit book, and I really didn't know. I was thinking for maybe walking and walking around. I didn't quite know how to get out of one situation. I started writing, and then the character was acting on her own, and the scene turned out to be, I was like, I'm writing, but it's not me. There is something that goes through me and did that episode. And when I finished it, I'm like, okay, now I am totally cornered because I don't know how to get out of there. And that's, I heard that the writers were talking about it, that sometimes the characters take over your writing and they act on the paper how you would never expect. So, and Lori Wooten, she was reading the book, and And I was so brave. I said, "Oh, she's so interested in my books." And I said, actually, I do have the beginning of another book in my computer sitting. So I'm going to send you the beginning of the new novel that I have." And she said, "Oh, do you mind me editing to go through those pages and to edit?" And I said, "Well, by all means do," because she said, kind of articles. Yeah, articles. Let me tell you about those articles. The articles. What? How well do you know when to put those articles and when not? Since the Russian language doesn't have articles, period, don't have. So if it's a noun, it's a noun. We don't have any identifier of the noun, of a noun. You don't have the identifier, and that's why you always can recognize a Russian or a Russian language speaker of English when the person omits articles. We are not comfortable about using, you see, okay, I came to this country 30 years ago. 30 years ago, I thought I spoke English, but my English back then was totally different. And my English right now, two different languages. And that's why, of course, as you are getting more and more comfortable in the language, in any language, you are getting more and more comfortable with the grammatical expressions, because some of them, they come to your mind through the TV you every day listening, or from reading every day, or you paying attention to the things, but to the things but when you start writing, and still there are such a minute little things that are invisible, and though you think that you might have mastered those, but they are kind of getting out of there. And definitely when you're writing a book, the editor was, I'm forever grateful that Tatiana Stagakis gets here sometimes. She was reading my book, and her brother was the final editor on the book. And I had actually three people to go with the com through the book before I published it. And then I published it, and then I see the comment on Amazon, which discouraged me of writing at all, saying full of grave mistakes. And I'm like, okay, so maybe it was too ambitious for me to write in a language that is not my native language, no matter how well you master those. But so, where was I going with that? I was going with that toward the creative writing that I made. So you see, I thought that YouTube would be really a venue for me to do the stuff that I want. Well, it didn't take me anywhere. So three years later, I'm still here talking to a few people, and here I am. And that's why, see, on the surface, I'm like every person else. I am a lazy person. So, and I would like to preserve an energy, and I would like to have the weekends to myself, because when I was doing YouTube, 3 channels, I was working 24/7, literally sometimes. Now with my full-time job, and I was working 24/7, not because like I loved it, because I just admitted to you that I really hate editing, and to edit twice a week versus 6 times a week, it was definitely I was in that rush. When you're a YouTuber, you have to post, you have to publish, publish and publish the videos, otherwise you're going to lose that rat race. And then no views, no nothing, and you're not making money. So, and when I realized that I'm not making any money and I'm not making anything, and then I decided to go back to work. And now, since I'm full-time working, and I really don't have time to do things that I don't like. And now my voice, maybe that's the sign from above saying, hey, keep your voice, just keep it down. Don't talk too loud or whatever. Maybe you can if you're writing, it's you keep you're silent when you're writing. You're not doing anything. See, let's see what we have here. Okay. Sherry is saying Jay just got a great camera system for our classic vehicles, license plate for rear camera. That's good. So did Sharon, did you? I mean, you were supposed to buy your own camera system, or did you buy the car already with the camera system, or are you able to install your own camera system that you would like to have? That I thought that all the cars they come with pre-installed cameras, and that's it. I didn't know that you can choose. Wow, interesting. Okay. Sherry and Lillian, we are grateful for you giving up your free time. Thank you. Thank you. And that's actually another side of the story that, yeah, when I'm getting into this, like, I'm so poor Lillian, she doesn't have time at all for herself. And then I see comments like that. And when I post those messages that I was posting through the entire week. And when you, again, my subscribers, my supporters, um, thank me, that's actually gives you strength to move forward. And so thank you so much, because that's really very nice to read. And again, when Sasha and Masha, they were thanking all the subscribers, all the friends who are in love with Messi, and when Dima and Yana Kim, they said that about Sasha and Masha, that they donated their money. That they donated their money to the Tiger House, and it seems like all the subscribers to the Tiger House, to Puma Messi, to Cheetah Gerda, and to my channel, we are all one big family, and that's really very, very nice. And if you the update about that wild tiger, he's out of the quarantine. He's been 3 weeks in the enclosure. He is on medication. He's taken antibiotics because he had, so the shot that was in his shoulder plate, it got the bone spread around, and the little pieces of bone, they were out of the socket, and he couldn't walk. But besides of those pieces in his flesh, they were inflamed, and they were giving him pain, and plus lots and lots of inflammation in his shoulder. But the antibiotics actually did its job. And Yana is such a good person, such a good doctor. She is able to instill those antibiotics into the meat that Forrester eats, and he is really showing signs of recovery. They also finished building their enclosure, and he gets out of his house and he roams around. He is limping, and Yana is saying that probably they are not going to make the reconstruction surgery to make like him not limping. She said, we are not going to harm him more than he already was harmed, and we are not going to inflict more pain on him, because he's gone through a lot of things. So he is not being in pain right now. The abscess is being taken care of, the antibiotics are working, and he is getting comfortable to roam around his new enclosure. However, he doesn't allow himself to be filmed. They installed one camera from above, and that's probably that camera is going to capture him, and they're going to share that video. But for now, they don't have anything more, like more cameras. And whenever he feels that people are coming, he hides into his house, and he feels safe there. So he eats. He's clean enough, so he takes care of his business, not where he sleeps. And he actually very curious about other tigers on the territory, because he is not far from the teenagers from Tesla Phoenix and Tesla Infinity and Taha. So those three cubs, the children of Royce and Honda. So that's the update on that saved wild tiger. And Matthew Gilmore is here. Hello, hello, hello. So that's my story. And again, going back to the creative writing. Now they have Chat GPT. I don't know. I haven't tried to play with it. I do have a free copy, I mean, free version of Chat GPT. I'm thinking about getting to Chat GPT 4. And I'm thinking that if you drop a portion of your book asking, like I don't know, a chapter at a time, I write in short chapters, asking it, like, please do edit error correction, but don't that's what I instruct him, but please do not add anything, it's my style, do not correct it. So the prompt, you have to be very specific with the prompt, with Chat GPT. And the Chat GPT said, okay, whatever, yeah, looks good enough, yeah, no grammatical errors, you're fine. It's interesting. So what do you think about ChatGPT? Have you tried? Have you played with it? What do you think that the future of the artificial intellect has in store for us? It's kind of interesting. We are living in totally different times. Who could have thought even 10 years ago where we're going to be now? And yeah, the progress takes us places that we have never gone before. And I always kind of go to the end of the stream on some kind of philosophical train of thought. I don't know why. And yeah, yes, Chat GPT. What do you think about it? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know, Karen. It's about 7 Eastern time. Yeah, it's about, we've been about an hour out here. And yes, thank you so much for being with me here. Those of you who are going to have corned beef for dinner, enjoy your St. Patrick's meal. Those of you who already ate your corned beef, again, happy St. Patrick's. Thank you for being here with me. Do you have any other questions? You didn't write me, you didn't post me any questions this week. That's why I'm just talking about whatever I feel like. Though I was asked a question about Maslenitsa, I hope now you know about it and you know why those pancakes are so special in Russia and during this week. Linda, you made it. Yes, AI is a tool and won't replace people. You think so? Linda thinks so, that it's not going to replace people. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. The Hollywood is already very concerned about it, because all those creative writers, all those teams of writers who work on the shows, I don't know. If you give a proper prompt to the AI, and the Chat GPT 4.0 version, they can do visual, they can do pictures, they can do graphics, and some already create videos. So very soon we won't be able to tell apart the video created by human or artificial intelligence. It's scary, I don't know. And yeah, Sherry Gardens all around. Sherry and Lily, I asked apparently all their questions. That's so good. You don't have any questions left for me. So wonderful. And yeah, the fashion industry, yeah, because how are they going to design clothes for a robot? Robot doesn't need clothes, but humans will need those clothes for kind of, I think, forever, and unless it would become appropriate to walk around naked, but it's cold. And yeah, yeah. Well, people, I think I see that you already leaving, and the discussion is it's kind of wrapping up. Thank you so much, all of you, for being here. I really appreciate you. And next week, if I decide to change my mind and I decided to have day off on Sunday, I'll let you know. You, meanwhile, write your comments under this stream. If you want this t-shirt, you know where to buy it. And thank you so much for spending your Sunday afternoon with me and Don Pepas. Thank you.